The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network. This is Vince Russo's The Brand.
Hello, everybody, from a cabin in the woods deep in Indiana. It is Vince Russo. I am here on Lake Yogi. This is The Brand. And I want to thank all of you for joining me today. You know, whether it's the Realm Network where you see the shows on video, whether it's Podcast One, you're listening in your car, you're listening on your phone, you're listening on your iPad, whatever. I'm just grateful that you're listening, and I really, really do appreciate it. And today we have a very special kind of show because I got to tell you something. You know, as a writer, and I'm looking at this as a writer, solely as a wrestling writer, I was never one for the brand split. And as a matter of fact, when I almost went back to the WWE in 2002, one of the first things I said to Vince is, you got to get rid of the brand split. It's atrocious. It's not working. And eventually they did get rid of the brand split for all those reasons, only to go back to the brand split. Now, listen, the brand split, yes, that has raised the ratings on SmackDown, which, you know, a lot of people comment SmackDown is a better show. I'll be honest with you. I don't watch SmackDown. After 3 hours of Raw on Monday night, I am done, and I'm not going to watch another 2 hours. But a lot of people say that SmackDown is a better show, and I'm sure that rating on Tuesday night has really helped USA Network. But then the argument could be, okay, while the SmackDown rating has gone up, did it in turn hurt the Raw rating? And let's face it, man, the Raw rating is hurting because the creative, you know, Vince McMahon's creative is atrocious. You have a team of writers just writing for Vince McMahon for his sense of humor and his approval to get on his good list. And it's an abomination. So I don't like the split. What I liked and what I was used to was JR would give me, and later on me and Ed Ferrara, the talent roster. And I would look at this talent roster and I would know everybody on this roster earned the opportunity to make a name for themselves in the big time. JR was so great at what he did in talent relations. You are on that roster only if you deserve to be on that roster. And you'll hear me say a lot of times at TNA, a lot of times, I told Dixie Carter there were a lot of people that had no business being on the roster, that had no business being on primetime television, but I never felt that way in the WWE. If your name was on that roster, you deserve to be there. And my job as a writer and a producer was to help get you over. That was my job. And a lot of times, if you didn't get over, the onus was on me because maybe I didn't do my job in giving you the tools you needed to get over. Excuse me. So for a while, with all the talent on Raw and with all the talent on SmackDown, I wanted to put together a 25-man roster, whereas if I were rehired by the WWE tomorrow, which, trust me, is never going to happen, hypothetically, and Vince McMahon said, Vince, we're cutting down the budget. You could have 25 gals and girls on this roster. Who do you want? 25 people that you believe are stars, that you believe have the it factor, that you believe could be larger than life. Because to me, if you're on television, you should be larger than life. You should not be an ordinary guy. You should not look like my next door neighbor. You should not talk like my next door neighbor. You should not act like my next door neighbor. You should walk, talk, and act like a television star. So I wanted to sit down with both rosters and I wanted to say, Vince, who are the 25 people that you would come up with, that you would want to work to help you write and produce the best show possible. And let me say this. When I sat down with both rosters that were very, 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 very long, I had to extend it to 30. I couldn't do it in 25 names because I would have been cutting out 5 key people. So I had to expand it to 30. And now I have a list of the 30 names that I would want to work with, people that I think are stars or have star potential, have the it factor, are special, and should be on television. Now, let me say this. I got to explain something with you when it comes to this show and why I'm on the Realm Network and why I'm on Podcast One. There are really 3 reasons. And I want to address this now because I know, because I'm going to give my opinion based on my 25 years of experience in the business, based on me working with a lot of these people, because I'm going to give my opinion and my opinion only. The hate mail is going to come in. The you killed WCW is going to come in. The David Arquette, all that crap is going to come in because I am voicing my opinion. And there are a lot of people out there that take this wrestling way too seriously to the point that it becomes scary because it's like it's an obsession with some people out there. And at the end of the day, with all due respect, it's a television show where people are fake fighting. That's what we're talking about here. It's not life. It's not death. It's a television show, but some people take it way, way, way too seriously. And quite frankly, those are the people I tend to have an issue with because they make it personal. When you take it that serious, you have to start making it personal. They work hand in hand. So with that said, I want to explain the 3 reasons why I do this. There are 3 reasons why I do this. Number 1, this is my job. That's all this is. I get paid by the Realm Network. I get paid by Podcast One. Other people listen to this show and pay me to, make personal appearances, whatever the case may be. This is how I earn a living to pay my bills. So first and foremost, it is a job. I make money from this so I can continue to support my wife and this cabin and the catfish in the pond. Number 2, my expertise. The facts are I wrote for the 3 biggest wrestling companies in the United States, and the facts are I raise the ratings for all 3 companies. You could put whatever spin you want to put on it, but when you get down to numbers, you'll see under my pen, WWE had the highest ratings ever. Under my pen, TNA had their highest ratings ever. And the short time that I was at WCW in the first 3 months, Ed Ferrara and myself were clearly raising the ratings. It's there in black and white. If you want to freaking argue, go argue with yourself in front of a mirror. If you want to talk nonsense and not facts and not numbers, I'm not interested. So number 2, I have a great deal of expertise in the area. And here's number 3. And this may be more important and the most important. I am an entertainer. That's why I chose to be a writer as a profession. I wanted to entertain you through my writing. I wanted to entertain you through my producing when I produced some of the greatest talents in the world. I wanted to entertain you when I was a performer. And here I am, and I still want to entertain you. I am an entertainer by heart. A lot of things come out of my mouth in the form of entertainment, to put a freaking smile on your face, even if it's only for a second. It's a tough world we live in. I put out a tweet today, make today a good day. Just concentrate on making today a good day because life is very difficult. And let me tell you, I got God in my corner and life is still very difficult. So if I can make you smile, if I can entertain you, and I can make you forget for 5 minutes about your worries of the day, then good, I did my job. So again, let me sum up why I do this. It's my job. It's my source of income. It's my field of expertise, and because I want to entertain you. So with all that being said, if you disagree with the list and if you disagree with my opinions, good for you. If you go freaking overboard and you start cutting promos on me and you start talking about my family, you know what? Honestly, bro, then something is wrong with you. Then you need psychiatric help, because every single person that goes through this exercise is going to have a different list. And there are a lot of reasons why people would be added to the list and people would not make the list. My list. This is just my list. So I'm going to go through all that. I'm going to explain. I'm going to tell you why some people made the list, why some people didn't make the list. I'm going to go through the 30 names that I would write down that I would want to be on my final WWE roster. It would be the same roster pool on Raw that it would be on SmackDown. The stories would continue from Raw to SmackDown. We would have no meaningless matches. We would get back to the good old days when casual fans actually watched the show. So I'm going to go down my list here. I'm going to tell you why these people made the list, and I'm going to tell you why some people did not make the list. Obviously, I'm going to start with I'm going to start with two people that are obvious. And if these two people aren't on your list, then you really are clueless. Because the two people on the top of the list are Brock Lesnar and John Cena. Brock Lesnar and John Cena would have been as over in the Attitude Era as they are today. They would have hung in there. They would have played ball. They would have went toe-to-toe with the greats like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Taker and Shawn Michaels and all of them. That's the caliber of Brock Lesnar and John Cena. Now, I'll tell you this. I would have a little issue with Lesnar only shows up once every 2 months, and I would make my opinion be known about that. I don't know how you have a champion that's never on the show. I think that's a huge problem, and I would do everything in my power to get Brock Lesnar on every television show. With all the money everybody says the WWE is making, the money shouldn't be a problem. So I don't know what the problem is, but Brock Lesnar and John Cena are clearly in a field of their own. They're professionals. John Cena has obviously proved that outside of wrestling, hosting the ESPYs and everything else that he does. The move Trainwreck, he did a great job in there. John Cena's a freaking movie star. Brock Lesnar is perhaps the most believable wrestler of all time. So those two go without saying. As I continue on, I'm going to keep Randy Orton on the list. And here's why I'm going to keep Randy Orton on the list. A lot of people may feel that Randy Orton has run its course. Well, a lot of that has to do with creative. The guy maybe has run its course if you don't give him something creative and different to work with. But to me, Randy Orton is a unique talent. He looks great. He's passionate. It's balls to the wall every single match, and the passion. The guy has the passion, the look, and he's unique. Randy Orton, at the end of the day, is a television star. Do I wish they would give him better material? Yes, I wish they would. And under my regime, trust me, Randy Orton would have better material. But Randy Orton is a bona fide superstar. He has gotten a little stale, but Randy Orton doesn't write this crap. Vince McMahon does. So if I had Randy Orton with the stories I could write for Randy with his passion, his intensity, he would be on my list. I said it. I didn't like her at the beginning, but she has grown on me. She has shown me she has the it factor. She has confidence out the yin yang. She looks good. She cuts a great promo. She's got her whole career ahead of her. Alexa Bliss would be on my list, and I would not have said that 2 months ago. You see, that's the thing with me, guys. I got to segue here for a second, because like I want to compare like the wrestling media to like Bill Maher. I watch Bill Maher's show on HBO in real time, and every single thing out of his mouth is anti-Donald Trump. Everything, bro. Everything. Donald Trump could save a blazing apartment full of puppies, and he can carry all of the puppies out one by one and then die the last time he goes in, and Bill Maher would bury him. Okay? Anything Donald Trump does, Bill Maher buries. That's why the guy's got no credibility, because he'll never, ever put over anything Donald Trump does. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Trump guy. But it's the same with the wrestling media. When Wade Keller says, oh, Finn Balor is great, no matter what these guys do, there is a pool of guys that they like, that they will forever put over, and there is a pool of guys that they don't, Roman Reigns, that they will forever bury. I don't look at it that way, bro. I look at every show. I break down every show. Some things I like, some things I don't. Alexa Bliss, I did not like when I first saw her on SmackDown. She's come a long way, baby. She's got the it factor. She is a star. So Alexa Bliss would be the first woman on my list. And let me tell you who the second woman on my list would be. And I've said this before, one of the most underrated talents on the entire roster. And I got to tell you something, bro. Listen to what I'm saying. Arguably the best athlete on the roster. She may be the best athlete on the roster. Forget about being underrated. Naomi. I love Naomi. Naomi is great. Naomi comes across as a team player. She is a veteran. She looks great. I love her ring attire. I love her entrance. And she may be the most underrated performer on this roster. I am begging them to give her a storyline. Let's see what this woman can do. But on talent and looks alone, Naomi makes my list. I'm going to go down now. The brothers Hardy are on my list. They still have something left in the tank. It seems to me Jeff Hardy never freaking ages. Maybe he is some freak of nature. Maybe he really is like a vampire, or who knows? The guy always looks great. The guy is going to be cool and hip when he's 70 years old. I wish the WWE would allow this deletion gimmick and the Brother Nero gimmick, and maybe they will in time. But as veterans, Matt and Jeff Hardy, they still have something left in the tank, and you need those veterans who are going to be the anchor and who are going to draw. A lot of casual fans who walked away will remember Matt and Jeff Hardy from the Attitude Era, and hopefully that will draw these fans back. But these are a veteran team, the Hardys, that still have a lot left in the tank. All right, so far, I've given you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names. We have 23 more names to go. All right. I'm going to throw another name at you. And I'll be honest with you. He's going to be the only cruiserweight wrestler on here. And quite frankly, why? Because he shouldn't be in the cruiserweight division. He's better than the cruiserweight division. And at the beginning, when he made his way from NXT, he wasn't in the cruiserweight division. He was a talent that they did absolutely nothing with. And I've said it all along. This guy should have gotten more TV time and been more over than Owens. This guy should have got more TV time, been more over than Sami Zayn. I think this guy is a star. I thought he was a star when he was at NXT. He's got the freaking it factor, but again, they give him no material. But this is a guy that's getting himself over as a heel. They're putting him on color. He's seizing the opportunity. He's doing a great job. Neville is on my list. A lot of times I'll make fun of the ginormous ears of Neville, but that's just the entertainer in me. Neville is a great talent. Neville right now is trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. He's seizing the opportunity when they put him on color. He's got the it factor. He's got the look. I would be afraid of Neville if I ran into him in real life. So Neville makes my roster. Another name that to me is a no-brainer, but this is where my personality gets into it a little bit and my personal experience, because I worked with the guy for about 10 years and I could tell you the most top-notch human being, individual, father, husband, performer, employee you would ever want to meet. I even had the honor of going to church with him when we both lived out in Atlanta, and that's AJ Styles. I married AJ Styles way, way back in the day, and, you know, I love AJ. I love AJ, and you know, yes, AJ's a great performer. Yes, AJ is cutting the best promos he ever cut in his life. I like AJ's look, but more than anything else, I love AJ as a human being. So you see, again, this is my list, and this is why my experiences are coming into play. But of course, AJ Styles makes my list. As I go through this list, I'm putting Baron Corbin on the list. I'm putting Baron Corbin on the list because I think he's got the look. I like Corbin's look. He's believable. Bro, he reminds me of Cape Fear, Robert De Niro, whatever the character's name, I can't remember, in Cape Fear. That's who Baron Corbin reminds me of. He's very believable. He's got a unique look. He's got a background in athletics. Again, they don't give the guy any meat on the bone. I've never really heard the guy cut a promo, but do I think I could help make this guy a star? With the right dialogue, with the right storyline in the ring, with the right performer? Absolutely, positively, yes. So Baron Corbin is on my list. Two more NXT people on my list that they're just wasting. Like every week, it's a waste, it's a waste, it's a waste, it's a waste. And the first time I ever put on NXT and I saw Enzo, I knew Enzo was a huge star. And I immediately emailed my friend at NXT. He was my friend, bro. He don't talk to me anymore. I guess he lost my email address. But I immediately, emailed my friend at the training center, Terry Taylor, and I said, this freaking Enzo is a star. And Terry told me the story of, so they wanted to get rid of him. They were busting his balls because he was a gym rat and he wasn't in the wrestling business. And I said to Terry, well, if you cut this guy, you're out of your freaking mind. This guy reeks freaking charisma, the it factor. People would pay money to see him. This guy would sell merch. Big Kaz reminds me so much of Test. And the two of them together, this is money. This is a package. But now, what has the WWE done with no story? They come out every week. They give the same spiel. Yes, that's great for the house crowd to sing along. But when you're watching at home and you're hearing the same thing over and over and over again, it just gets kind of old. And they've beat poor Enzo to death. They've not protected these guys at all, but these guys are money. These guys are stars. So Big Kaz and Enzo would be on my list. Another tag team would be on my list because these guys look good. These guys are believable. They work good, and they've shown a comedic side. They've shown a range. They've shown they get it. And there was a period of time that the WWE writers, maybe it was Vince, maybe it wasn't, was writing good stuff for them. But it's inconsistent, and the inconsistency has hurt them. But again, they don't write this crap. I'm talking Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. These guys would be on my list. They are believable. They look good. They have the it factor. They've shown different dimensions to their characters. The problem is the WWE has not explored them because, quite frankly, Vince McMahon doesn't know what to do with that. But Anderson and Gallows would definitely be on my list. We've gone through half the list. Now I'm going to take you through the list on the other end, okay? Lana and Rusev are on my list. Rusev was right there, bro. Right there to being main event status, and they dropped the freaking ball, bro. The guy was right there. If you would have maybe put him in a ring for 5 minutes with Brock Lesnar, that might have been all he needed right there. But because the creative is so horrendous, he dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped to the point of not meaning anything. Rusev does mean something. He is a television star. He's a good character. He's believable. He can cut a promo. He just needs meat on the freaking bone. And of course, with Rusev comes Lana, and I would shoot with it. I wouldn't go with the freaking fairy tale freaking gimmick. Just freaking shoot with it. Let them be Rusev and Lana, and they're married, and they're together. But let me tell you something. A lot of these idiots out there ripping Lana's, enhancement videos, the pre-tapes, the teases for her coming. Bro, let me tell you, man, if you're a hormonal male, a hot-blooded male, you want freaking Lana on the show. Okay, guys still watch wrestling. The audience is still male dominant. How do you not want to see the beautiful Lana on this show? Please, bro. I can't get enough Lana. I can't wait to see the gimmick when Lana preview. I may watch SmackDown just to see Lana premiere on SmackDown. You got to have gorgeous women on the show. Stop it already, bro. Okay, guys are watching the show. You got to have gorgeous women. Do you know how over Sable and Sunny were, for crying out loud? All right. Speaking of gorgeous women, and speaking of another package, The Miz and Maurice. I always screw up her name. I'm sorry, Maurice. I'm a fan of yours. The Miz and Maurice would have been over huge in the Attitude Era. Miz is a star. His wife is beautiful. They are a star. They're a tier above everybody else on that freaking Raw show, with the exception of a few. So Miz and Maurice would be stars in the Attitude Era. They're stars today. They definitely make my list. Again, Maurice, I want to see her every week. I like looking at beautiful women. If that is a sin, if that makes me some name you could think of to label me, go ahead. I'm 56 years old. I still love looking at beautiful women. Maurice is a beautiful woman. She's smart. She's intelligent. She owns the microphone. I love the package of Miz and Maurice, and I'm going to keep going down this road. Nikki Bella, no doubt, would be on my roster. I love Nikki Bella. I think she looks great. I think she really picked up her game in the ring. She could be a leading lady in movies. She could be on television. She could do TV. She has the it factor. So Nikki Bella is on my list, and trust me, I know there aren't a lot of lists that she'd make mine. Why? Because she reeks of stardom, and Nikki Bella is a star. Here's one that may surprise a lot of people. I just found out, guys, I had Nikki Bella down twice, so I'm going to have to add somebody to this list. Oh, boy. And I think I know who it's going to be, and he's going to make it by the skin of his teeth, and I'll tell you why. But I'm looking down my list here. You may be a little surprised by this. Nakamura would be on my list. because the guy is so different. The guy is so unique. There is no one else like him. I like the fact that the guy can speak English so he can translate to the American crowd. That's good. But this guy is unique. Another Nakamura is not going to come along. But you can't, you know, the WWE just can't rely on the guy's ring entrance and his theatrics in the ring. That's all well and good, bro. But again, you've got to give this guy sooner or later some meat on the bone. You're going to have to put him in some solid storylines. I'm going to go down the list. They've beat him to death. And there may be a lot of people that say he's overstayed his welcome, but I can't say he's overstayed his welcome because I am confident that if I were writing this TV, Dolph Ziggler would be over and I would keep Dolph Ziggler over. He's got too many tools, bro. He's a great in-ring performer. He can cut a good promo. He looks like $1 million. He always works his ass off. I'm confident that he would be, bro, if not a top guy, a half an inch right below that, because Ziggler has all the tools. But that's what it's all about, bro. There comes a point when creative needs to step in and connect the dots and make you freaking whole. And that doesn't happen, and it hasn't happened with Ziggler for a while. So Ziggler's just another name on the card. Jinder Mahal, I love the guy. Right now, when I look at these shows, he's got more passion than anybody else on either show. And that's what's coming out to me. I'm seeing the passion, and I'm not going to lie to you either. The guy looks like an adult. The guy looks like a freaking wrestler. And I like his intensity. I like his passion. They've just started to scratch the surface with him. But he's a great heel. I would definitely put Jinder Mahal on my list. Okay, now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Charlotte is a no freaking brainer. Charlotte, when all is said and done, is going to be the greatest women's wrestler of all time. I've said that before. I wish we would expand on her personality a little bit more. We did it when Ric Flair was around. We had the son-daughter thing. Since then, we haven't done it. You know, everything has been built around who's the best wrestler, who's the best wrestler, who's the best wrestler. Okay, this is going to surprise you. Finn Balor would make my list, but not as Finn Balor. Listen, bro, with all due respect to me, Finn Balor is not Arthur Fonzarelli. Finn Balor is not James Dean, but Finn Balor is over with me when he's the Demon. Why he's not the Demon every week, why that isn't his character, I have no idea. Triple H says because the girls swoon over Finn Balor. Well, if the girls swoon over Finn Balor, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm talking about from my perspective. The Demon is freaking over. The makeup is over. The entrance is over. I wish as the Demon he wouldn't work like Finn Balor, but he does. I would take this Demon freaking character and I would build this and write around it to Undertaker status. And speaking of Undertaker status, there is no reason in the world why Braun Strowman is not at that status now. This guy has more potential. He should have been in Undertaker status years ago. The promos coming in, the entrance, the gift of gab, the look. This guy is a bona fide star. Here's the problem, bro. His talents are greater than those in WWE creative. He's so good, bro, that their creativity does not match how good he is. That is the problem. I promise you, if I had the book, as they say, Bray Wyatt would be a top guy. I mean, there's absolutely no question about that. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. And here's the guy that just made my list. And he wasn't on the list, but now he's on the list because I had Nikki Bella twice. He almost did not make the list. And I'm going to tell you who. It's Dean Ambrose. See, now Dean Ambrose has worked the opposite on me, whereas Alexa Bliss has won me over, Dean Ambrose has lost me. And let me make this perfectly clear. Creatively, they're not doing Dean Ambrose any justice. I mean, and bro, we can go all the way back to the Nickelodeon green ooze that was in the briefcase. We can go all the way back to the silly hot dog cart. They've made attempts to make Dean Ambrose, the lunatic fringe. It hasn't worked. And not only has it worked, it's been terrible. But here's the issue, bro. And I talked about this in detail with Steve Austin. There comes a point that if creative's going to fail you, you got to get yourself over. And Ambrose has gotten so much television time, and he's been given the opportunity to get himself over. Bro, not for anything, man. If I'm Dean Ambrose, I may on the side, I may hire a personal writer that the WWE knows nothing about to maybe teach me and coach me how to be funny, how to come across like I'm nuts, maybe give me a couple of catchphrases. I swear to you, bro, I would make that investment. But Ambrose has a unique look, but the fact that you're calling him the lunatic fridge doesn't make him a lunatic. And like I said, even though creative has failed him, there comes a point, bro, where you got to start getting yourself over. Seth Rollins falls in that same category. He has had ample time to get himself over. And I don't know anything about Seth Rollins other than Seth effing Rollins. That's all I know, bro. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And here's the thing I hate about Rollins, bro. He's an exceptional seller. He can sell. But here's the problem, bro. He sells so well that 3 seconds later, when he's forgotten that he got hurt because he's got to get all his spots in, it looks unbelievable. And nobody's worse at this than Rollins. He sells, and then in a burst of energy to get all his crap in, he forgot that he was hurt so he can hit 4 or 5 spots in a row. And it's freaking atrocious. Yes, the hardcores love it, but the casual fans like me are sitting back saying, bro, you were hurt 10 seconds ago. Where did this burst of energy come from? But again, bro, he's had ample television time to get himself over. Like I said, bro, The Rock came up with all that stuff. The Rock came up with the people's elbow. The Rock came up with, if you know what the smell what The Rock is cooking. The Rock came up with the eyebrow. Austin came up with Austin 316. They came up with this stuff on their own. They got themselves over. You guys got to start getting yourselves over. Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns make the list. It's my favorite feud going on right now. 2 big, believable guys. Bro, I would give anything to write for Roman Reigns. I would give anything. I would do it for free. I would take over that storyline and I would write it for free. Because the fun I would have with Roman and the way the marks are responding to him, bro, that would be a writer's dream. And last but not least, believe it or not, the last one on the list is Kevin Owens. And I'm putting Kevin Owens on the list because Kevin Owens clearly gets it. What hasn't worked for me is the label that the WWE has put on him, the prize fighter, the face of America. None of that stuff works. They should play into his character that he's overweight, that he's a filthy, disgusting slob. He's not going to adjust to the system. He's going to play by his own rules. And if they played the look into the gimmick, then you would be able to really get Kevin Owens over to a much higher level. And that's what I would do if he were on my roster. There are some people that did not make the roster, and I'll tell you who they are. Austin Aries did not make my roster, and a lot of it is personal, guys. You know, when you rather have a day off than work with one of the giants in the business and learn from him, you've got a problem with me. And I can't get over that, and I can't get past it. So again, that's very personal for me. The fact that I work with Samoa Joe, who's a hell of a guy and a great father and a great husband and all those things, and I love him personally, but for as long as I've worked with him, Samoa Joe has been one-dimensional. And I don't know if he's capable of more. And after a while, that is just going to get old. So that's why I've not included Joe on my roster. Nothing personal. Sheamus and Cesaro, I think they've hurt those brands to the point that they can't be resurrected. I really, they put them together. We've been seeing the same act out of both of them for so long. You know, the fact that they're a team and I would have had 2 spots, they don't make the list. And that's the same with freaking New Day. New Day doesn't make my list because I'm not putting all 3. If I only got 30 guys, bro, 3 guys don't warrant being on the list when they come out every week and it's the who. I'm sure they sell a lot of merchandise to the kids, but bro, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in television. I'm interested in TV stars. You know, anybody, bro, can sell colorful clothing to kids. That I said that. That's why Bailey's over. Another one who didn't make my list. The kids like the freaking gas station balloons. That's why Bailey's over in my opinion. I want bona fide television stars. I want people with the it factor. I want people that could be spokesmen for, you know, Subway or, you know, name a company, AT&T or Apple Computers. That's what I want, bro. I want the freaking it factor. I'm not looking for gimmicks because gimmicks, bro, gimmicks are going to come and go. I want the real McGilla. And that is my list. And again, bro, that is my freaking opinion. It's not right. It's not wrong. Save yourself from the hate mail. I'm sure you got your own opinion and reasons why you'd have certain people on your list and not on your list. But please leave me alone. I'm just giving my freaking opinion. But there you have it, bro. Those are my 30 that I would run with at the WWE. I hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. We will be back tomorrow. I believe tomorrow is Castrating the Marks, my favorite show. If you haven't heard it, you got to listen to it. You got to listen to me call all these dirt sheet writers out. They've never been called out before. They've been doing the same thing for years and years and years, but myself and the brand have decided to put a freaking end of it. We use their own words against them so everybody can see how ridiculous they sound. That's tomorrow's show, and of course, we'll follow that up with Lions, Tigers, Bears, and Disco. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Hope you had a good show. Hope you enjoyed the show. See you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel.